Hi, everybody. I'm Cate Conte, and I'm so excited to be here today with one of my very best friends and writing partners, Julie Henricus. Julie is an accomplished writer and an executive coach, and she's just all around awesome, and she's one of the best plotters I know. So I wanted to sit down with her today to talk about some of the writing programs that she's put together and, how as a fellow writer, we all could benefit from the programs and the structure that Julie uses when she's teaching people how to put books together. So, hi, Julie. Thanks for chatting with me.
Hey, Kate/Liz. Thanks for doing this interview. I love talking about writing, as you know.
Absolutely. So, first, tell us about your books.
Well, I've written 3 different series so far that have been published. I have a couple of novels in draws that we'll never see.
Don't we all?
Yeah, that's how you start. But I wrote the Clock Shop series as Julianne Holmes. I wrote the Theater Cop series as J.A. Henricus. And I am writing the Garden Squad series as Julia Henry. They are all mysteries. Theater Cops are a little bit more traditional, and then the other 2 are in the subgenre of what they call cozy. So, small town, amateur sleuth, puzzle mysteries. And so those, my 8th book will be published in August this year, Digging Up the Remains as Julia Henry, and my 9th book is due at the beginning of August.
That's awesome. And if you haven't read her books, you really should. They're all awesome. Her new series, The Garden Squad, is really, really cool and really funny and just really fun. So make sure you do. Make sure you pick them up. So in your other life, you have a lot of lives, but we're going to stick to these 2 lives today. So in your other life, your coaching life, I know you've been really hard at work on creating a program to help other writers bring their dream to life and go through their creative journey with a little bit more structure than maybe you or I did when we first started out. Definitely than I did. So can you tell us about your new program, Muse Mapping?
Sure. Muse Mapping for Writers is a program that I created that is based on both coaching and on videos and workbooks. And so the Muse Mapping program itself is to help creative people, get past the blocks and obstacles in their path and learn to have the confidence that they can to get through. So for writers, it's about creating a writing practice that works for you, understanding how to shape a book. So take your words and shape a book, build the world, build your characters and everything else with the support of coaching. There are 8 weeks of video lessons that people have lifetime access to and workbooks. And then the program has 8 weeks of group coaching. And then everybody in the program has 3 sessions with me that they can schedule with, any time within the next year, so that we can talk about whatever you need to talk about. Because as you know, writing is about more than words on a paper. It's about the confidence and understanding the mechanics of getting it all together, and also helping yourself on the journey, because it's not, we've both written many books, and each book is a challenge. It's not, there's a time during the writing process that you just think, oh, this is the time that they're going to find I can't do it. And
it was all a lie.
It's all a lie. I give them back the money. But that's not true. But people don't understand that that's part of the process, that it's joyful, but it's not easy. And so I want to help people. I meet too many people who tell me, I've always wanted to write a book, or I never finished, or I did this. And I just want to help people get that regret off the table. And so that's why I created this program.
I love that. So did you develop it based on, learning how to write your own books, or did you always just inherently have that structure in mind that you brought to life in this program?
Well, there are two different structures. One's the coaching structure. So one's sort of the journey of coaching and self-development and developing the tools that will keep you on your writing journey. And so that I learned by becoming a certified life coach and being in practice as a coach. The writing stuff is are things that I learned but on the job. And that just understanding that building a world is, setting a world is more than setting or even the people in it. It's the rules and it's the way people navigate it, and it's the town structure, and that in anything you write, you're building a world for your readers. And when you're writing a specific type of novel, you need to understand the genre and what the rules are of the genre. You can break the rules, but you can only break rules once you understand them. What point of view are you going to write in is a choice, and there are pros and cons to the choice, but all of these are active decisions you make, and you can change, but you have to make as a writer. And you know that. I mean, your most recent series is about a woman who discovers at 32 she's a witch. So you've got your world of mysteries, and then this witchcraft world and the discovery of that, and that takes a lot to pull it off. It's not impossible, obviously, because you did it so well, but there's some mechanics that make it easier, but I can't write a person's book for them. They need to write it themselves. But what I can do is help them gain the confidence to actually do that by giving them some workbooks and some steps and some things to think about that I wish somebody had told me earlier.
Yeah, and I wish I had had access to some of that when I was building this world last year in this first book, because it was a little bit of pulling teeth at times.
Yeah.
But that brings up such an interesting point, right? Because in the writing world, there's all kinds of advice and, dare I say, rules about how books should be written, and you have to, plot everything, or you shouldn't plot anything, or you have to write this amount of words a day, or just all kinds of rules. But I think the most important thing, and I think that really derails people, right? Mm-hmm. So I think what it sounds like your program is going to help people do is figure out that your own process is your process. Yeah. And you don't have to follow a process, but you just have to understand and be confident in your own process.
Yes. Yes. And be open to learning other things that may help you. Yeah. So, if you're a pantser, which means you write by the seat of your pants, and you don't plot, you may never plot, but understanding how plotting works helps you. So this is part of the work that needs to be done as well, is to help people understand exactly what you said, that it's your process. But you're an apprentice for life when you're on. You're never an expert. I mean, I can teach, but I'm still learning. That's what the arts are. That's what creativity is. And so you got to be comfortable in maybe this will help. I was coaching somebody recently, and we spent her session showing her how to use Scrivener, which is a writing tool. And that helped her break down the barriers of how, because it's a tool that's going to work for her. So that was worth the time we spent getting her Scrivener set up. So it can be a lot of different things. Time management can be something else, understanding plotting, dramatic structure, or just having somebody to talk to about things, as you and I do on occasion, where we'll call each other or call another writer and say, I got to talk this through because I'm stuck and I'm not unstuck. And if I can talk to somebody aloud, that's going to help me, because we know that I want you to write your book. I'm not going to write my book for you. So some workshop teachers will have you write the way they write, and that's not how you write. So who are you, and what's your process, and what's your journey?
I love that. I spent so much time when I first got a contract, beating myself up because I am not a plotter. It's really hard for me. And I was like, you should be a plotter, you know. It would just make your life so much easier. But when I tried to force myself into that, I just was even more miserable. So now I have found a happy medium where I have a plotting session usually at the beginning of each book with one of our other writer friends. And that's been really helpful for me because I end up coming away from that with a bunch of scenes and a direction. And it's not like I don't have every last detail plotted out, but it's enough that when I do get stuck, I can keep going. So for me, that's my happy medium. And my other weird process is, you know, I can never write the ending to a book until the last day. It just doesn't ever happen. And, you know, I used to spend a ton of time beating myself up on this. So if I had had a teacher like you, is my point, that, you know, from the beginning said, no, it's okay. Just because the book's going to get done anyway, it doesn't matter how you get there.
Right.
And I think coaching is so important for people in that regard.
Yeah, coaching is important. Coaching is about moving forward and goal setting and all that kind of stuff. It's not about, you know, what's dragging you from behind. It's about creating systems that are going to work for you moving forward. But I think your point about you gain confidence in your own process. So I know that you have a book due August 1st as well. And I know that if I talk to you on July 31st,
I might not have an ending
because you haven't written the ending, because we've done this so many times. So you're going to be, you know, I have to write the ending, and it's going to be, and there you go. I think I'm a plotter. I will say that the book I'm writing now, writing the first draft takes a while. Then you really need to let it sit so you can edit it. And I didn't understand that at the beginning either, that writing is actually rewriting and fixing. And you can fix it too much. At some point you have to let it go. But this, I don't know if it's because of, you know, the pandemic or the world or whatever. I was having a terrible time writing this book and had to go back several times and replot it, which, you know me, that's not like,
yeah. No, you have every detail in your Scrivener index cards every single time.
Every single time.
I've always been envious of you.
Yeah, not this time. This time it's like, okay. So I had the Panther experience. It didn't make me happy, but I think the book, if I'd stayed too rigidly to how I usually do it, the book would have been boring and it wouldn't have worked, because I was willing to stop, take a deep breath and say, I'm going to write actually 2 mysteries. I'm going to solve them both, but unexpectedly. Then that, I think, it made it a better book. So you do need to be willing, as you did with, you know, Witch Hunt, where you're adding different points of view or you're telling the story differently. You need to build up the skills where you can experiment and sort of keep challenging yourself to write better as well.
Absolutely. So do you see this program morphing at all as you work with more people and understanding more about, you know, what people need as they're going through a program like this?
Yeah, you know, that's such a great question. I do, actually. I've had some people taking the pilot program. I'm getting some feedback on that, but I'm also realizing that supporting people in different ways individually, while also offering some group coaching, because when you group coach, you hear what other people are having problems with, and it always helps you. You and I have been in group coaching programs together. It always helps you to hear other people's process. But also offering the opportunity for people to check in with me one-on-one about anything is one of the ways it's already morphed. And I do see it probably changing again as it's moving forward, but I'm going to be launching this next journey of it, these next 8 weeks of it in July, and looking forward to people joining me wherever they are in their process. I mean, you can have written, or you can just have on your bucket list, I want to write a book. Go through the, 8 weeks and then have those sessions with me for the future where you want to check in or you need to go over something, or if you feel stuck. And sometimes the stuck is in the mechanics of writing. Sometimes it's in the self-belief that you can do it. So whatever it is, we all need help with that. right?
Yes.
So, I mean, and this is part of the reason we're such good friends is we help each other over those, I don't know what I'm doing moments. You need people in your life to help you with that. So I would be honored to help people write that book they've always wanted to write.
I love that. I'm so sure that you're going to help so many people further their creative journey. I'm so excited for this launch. Is there anything else you want to tell me about Muse Mapping?
No, I think that's it. I really appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation, and I wish you luck with the launch of your new series. The Witch Hunt is the first book in that series by Cate Conte.
Thank you, and wish me luck finishing book 2, which is the
I
more
wish
immediate
you both
problem.
luck. I'm finishing book 4, you're finishing book 2, and they're both due on the same day, so we will celebrate together.
Yeah.